a small island in the Indian Ocean, a cricketing empire once rose.
Oh, shot. Over cover.
They weren't the richest, they weren't the biggest, but they played with a spirit that shook the giants of the game. From Ranatunga's Warriors of 1996 to Sangakkara's Artist and Malinga's Yorker Storms, Sri Lanka gave cricket some of its most unforgettable stories. But glory doesn't last forever. This is not just a tale of triumph. It is the rise, the golden years, and the heartbreaking fall of Sri Lankan cricket. Today we will cover Rise and the Fall of Sri Lankan cricket. Sri Lanka entered world cricket as true underdogs. Gaining Test status in 1981, they were often treated as outsiders, a team happy just to participate. Victories were rare, facilities were limited, and the cricket world didn't take them seriously. But beneath the surface, Sri Lanka had a passion that no statistics could measure. Players like Duleep Mendis, Roy Diaz, and Arjuna Ranatunga laid the foundation. They weren't stars yet, but they carried belief. Every small victory, like the 1995 Test win against Australia, became a stepping stone towards something greater. The 1996 World Cup changed everything. No one expected Sri Lanka to even reach the semi-finals, let alone win the trophy. But Arjuna Ranatunga's men had a plan. Sanath Jayasuriya and Romesh Kaluwitharana revolutionized ODI cricket with fearless starts. Aravinda de Silva played one of the greatest World Cup innings in the final against Australia. And behind it all was the calm but defiant leadership of Ranatunga, who never let his team feel inferior. That night in Lahore, when Sri Lanka lifted the trophy, it wasn't just a victory. It was a statement. A small island nation had shocked the giants of the game and announced itself to the world. The years that followed gave us one of cricket's most beloved golden generations. Muttiah Muralitharan, the magician of spin, became the world's highest wicket-taker. Chaminda Vas was the silent assassin with the new ball. And in the batting order, Mahela Jayawardene and Kumar Sangakkara brought elegance, consistency, and class.
Good use of the feet.
Sri Lanka's golden generation wasn't just about artistry, it was about consistency at the highest level.
Oh, now Sangakkara, the third
Between 2007 and 2012, they became the most reliable finalists in world cricket. 3 major ICC finals in a row, proof that this little island nation had truly joined the global elite. In 2007, in the Caribbean, they marched to the World Cup final, only to run into a storm named Adam Gilchrist. His 149 in the final broke Sri Lankan hearts as Australia secured yet another title. But reaching that stage showed the world that Sri Lanka weren't just 1996 one-time wonders. They were here to stay. 4 years later, in 2011, they went one step closer to destiny. Under the calm leadership of Kumar Sangakkara, Sri Lanka's campaign was full of class. In the final at Wankhede, Mahela Jayawardene played one of the greatest World Cup innings ever. An unbeaten 103 of pure elegance. For a moment, it looked like the trophy was coming back to Colombo. But then came Dhoni's famous 6. And once again, Sri Lanka were left with only memories. And as if 2 heartbreaks weren't enough, in 2012, on home soil in Colombo, Sri Lanka reached the T20 World Cup final. Fans dreaming of glory. But the West Indies, led by Marlon Samuel's brilliance, shattered those dreams. 3 finals in a row, 3 defeats. For the players, it was unbearable. For the fans, it was cruel. Yet, it also proved something. Sri Lanka belonged on the biggest stages again and again. These near misses defined the golden generation as much as their brilliance. They didn't just play finals, they carried the hopes of a nation into battle. And though the trophies slipped away, their journey made Sri Lanka one of the most admired teams in world cricket. Then came redemption. In 2014, Sri Lanka once again marched into a final. This time the T20 World Cup in Dhaka. After years of heartbreak, after 3 finals of pain, this felt different. Lasith Malinga led the side with fire, but it was the veterans who carried the weight of history on their shoulders. Kumar Sangakkara, playing his final T20 innings for Sri Lanka, delivered under pressure. A match-winning 52 not out that silenced India and ended the drought. When the winning runs were struck, it wasn't just a victory, it was a release.
Champions of the ICC World T20, well played. They've tried so hard, so many times in the finals. This is their day. Just watch the celebration, one of the greatest in the game. Kumar Sangakkara finally gets his opportunity.
Jayawardene and Sangakkara, 2 giants of the game, finally walked off champions in their last World Cup appearance together. For Sri Lanka, it was more than a trophy, it was justice, years in the making. But as all cricketing stories go, golden generations don't last forever. When Murli retired in 2010, and Sangakkara and Jayawardene followed in 2015, the vacuum left behind was enormous. These weren't just great players, they were the backbone of Sri Lanka cricket. What followed was a painful decline. Young players struggled to fill the shoes of legends. The consistency was gone. Matches that once felt winnable slipped away. Fans who were used to seeing their team in finals now had to endure early exits and humiliating defeats. The decline wasn't just about players. Behind the scenes, administrative chaos, financial struggles, and poor planning worsened the situation. Promising youngsters came and went, but none could bring stability. Sri Lanka, once feared by giants, started losing regularly to teams like Afghanistan and Bangladesh. Each defeat was more than just numbers on a scoreboard. It was a reminder of how far they had fallen. Yet, even in decline, Sri Lanka showed sparks of brilliance. In 2014, they won the Asia Cup, led by a young Angelo Matthews. In 2022, against all odds, they lifted the Asia Cup again, beating Pakistan in the final. These moments reminded fans of the old Sri Lanka spirit, fearless, resilient, unpredictable. They weren't world beaters anymore, but they could still produce magic when no one expected it. But reality struck again. In 2023, Sri Lanka failed to qualify directly for the ODI World Cup. For a nation that once ruled the cricketing world, this was a new low. Injuries, inconsistency, and inexperience plagued the team. For many fans, it was painful to accept that Sri Lanka was no longer among cricket's elite. The golden days of Murli, Sangakkara, and Jayasuriya felt like distant memories, and yet hope refuses to die. Players like Wanindu Hasaranga, Patham Nissanka, and Maithisha Patharana have shown promise. The island nation still produces raw talent, still carries passion, and still has fans who believe. The question is, can they rebuild? Can Sri Lanka rise again and bring back the glory that once made them world champions? From the fairy tale of 1996 to the heartbreak of modern struggles, Sri Lanka's story is more than just cricket. It's about belief, pride, and resilience. They may not be the giants they once were, but the spirit of Sri Lanka cricket remains unbroken. For true fans, this is not the end of the story. It's just another chapter in a journey that refuses to fade. Sri Lanka's journey reminds us that cricket is more than wins and losses. It's about spirit, resilience, and legacy. This was their story. But cricket is full of many more. What's the next one you want to hear? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold cricket stories. Thanks for watching.